Guys, thank you for joining me again. If you've not done so, can you hit the buttons down below and give me a little subscribe? And also, we're on the other platforms, which are here somewhere. Guys, today we're going to talk about, this is going to be the final thing we're going to do on it, the Notting Hill Carnival. We're going to talk about what's been happening there and the absolute debauchery. I'm sure, like you have, we've seen all the images of how people are acting, all the people. I'm sure they call it dancing, and I'm not to tell anybody how to dance because my dance moves consist of the funky chicken and the raven dance. But what we're seeing in the Notting Hill Carnival, remember, this is supposed to be a day for the family. This is supposed to celebrate culture. This is supposed to celebrate diversity. And from what I've seen, it looks like, guys, it just looks wrong in every sense of the way. So we're going to talk about what's been happening. And guys, I'm going to give you the solution to that. And then I'm also going to give you the solution to knife crime as well, because I've just come back from the gym and I thought, you know what? We need to do the old army rules. But anyway, guys, let me share this with you. Again, this is from the, I was going to say the Met Office then, but this is the official police. So this is an update as of 7 o'clock tonight. There may be other stuff happening, after this, but I'm not going to, unless it's something really wild, I'm not going to report on it. But what you can assume is if this is the stuff that's been communicated, there's a lot more behind the scenes. Usually it's 1 in 7. So for every 1 incident that's reported, there's 7 incidents in and around that area in that sphere. But, that's just speculation. That's just statistics. We don't actually know. But what we'll do is we'll go off this and we'll look at what's happened. So where do we go, guys? As of 7 p.m. today, there has been 1 report of a stabbing resulting in a non-life-threatening injuries. Interventions by police officers throughout the day, including using Section 60 search. Earlier today, officers were able to stop a car in Harrow, believed to be en route to the carnival, where a firearm was seized. What were they going to do with that? I don't know. And 2 people arrested. Later in the afternoon, officers carried out a search at one of the entry points of the carnival, seizing further firearms. I mean, nothing to me says more than a good family day out when you're bringing your guns. Just the thing you do, guys. Take your guns to the family day out. Anyway, a man who was wanted for an attempted murder in Hackney in July was stopped at a carnival. If you're on the run from murder, get yourself to the carnival because, you can't miss the carnivals. And arrested following a successful stop. So far today, so this is today, this is additionally to what happened yesterday. 44 weapons other than firearms have been seized. Officers have made 145 arrests as of 7 p.m. on Monday, bringing the total so far to 249. Guys, this is phenomenal. Breakdown of offences for Monday so far. So this is Monday, not including yesterday. 40 possessions of offensive weapons, 4 sexual offences, 6 other violence offences, I'm going to assume, 2 car crime, 7 possessions with intent to supply drugs, 29 possessions of Class B drugs, 6 possessions of drugs other, 2 other theft offences, 16 assaults. Guys, this assaults on emergency workers. You have got to be a pretty special doofus to attack a paramedic. Why are you attacking paramedics? Is there something... the only way you've got to be pretty stupid to attack a paramedic. 3 violence with injury, 1 possession of a firearm, 1 harassment. I'm surprised that come in there. 6 Class A drugs, 3 possessions of nitrous oxide. Again, apparently, I thought this was something to do with street racing, but it's laughing gas. Little capsules from one of your comments. Theft from a person, 4 public order offences, and 14 other offences. So this happens every year, and we have to sit here and, we have to sit here and celebrate this diverse, Notting Hill that we have. So The solution is so easy, guys. What I would do if I was, Sadiq Carnage, I would say, right, okay, Notting Hill, I'm removing the police presence, I'm removing the metal detectors, I'm removing any law enforcement from that area. I've given a new section 61, which means no paramedics, no fire engines will go in there. Go and enjoy yourself, guys. Go and enjoy yourselves. Have yourself the best, the best time you guys can. And that's what I do, guys. I would just let it deal with itself. If you want to go to the Notting Hill Carnival, go. I'm not going to spend any more taxpayers' money. I'm not going to spend any more. Nothing says you're having a good time like the people having to board their houses up. I've also seen some footage online about people, using somebody's house as a toilet, and they're queuing up to use this house as a toilet. It's absolutely disgusting. These won't be in any crime statistics. How many other houses is this happening to? How many other houses are, getting broken into, having windows smashed? They can't make an arrest because no one's there. Remember, the amount of police per capita? The amount of police per 100 people is very small. So, like I said, normally it's 1 in 7. For every one crime, 7 have gone without being solved. I would say it's a lot more in this Notting Hill Carnival because of just the scale of it. And that's my solution, guys. I would just say, right, Notting Hill Carnival, fill your boots. No police, no medical, no emergency services, no fire services, no paramedics. Just do exactly what you want and see how quickly, that area turns into a, well, what would it turn into? What do we think it'd turn into? Do you think after 2 days, what do you think could happen? I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't want to say anything inflammatory, but I think we all know what would happen in 2 days. Anyway, so that's my solution to that. And then I start to think about, this knife crime epidemic. And I'll give you the two instances I saw on this. The first instance was I saw a video of some guy. I think there's four people in a taxi, and there's this guy and he's driving the taxi, and then he pulls up, and then I think they ask him to wait for him. They get out. One guy runs back and he's saying, "Uncle, drive, Uncle, drive." And then the windows go through. He's trying to drive, and there's people from both sides stabbing. This kid in the middle, and he is a kid. He looks scared. I'm looking at him and I'm seeing a scared child. And he's phoning the police. He said, "Oh, they're trying to get me. They're trying to get me." While somebody's stabbing him, and then he pulls his knife out, and it's just carnage. And I looked at that, and then I later found out, more information came out. This kid in the middle, he's supposed to be some big gangster, and he does lots of Instagram stuff. Now, the context of this was, and I don't know the pre-context, and I'm not going to speculate, but I think the sentiment's right. I think I'd be right in saying these people in gangs want to be gangsters until they're on the receiving end, and then they phone the police straight away, and then the police have to come and sort things out, and then they're the victim. You're like, dude, you're a gangster. You've been doing gangster stuff. You're like, oh no, not today. I don't want to be a gangster. I want to be an innocent guy. But the way we deal with this is simple. We just let people fight. We let people fight. If two people are on the street and they want to go for it, instead of the police breaking it up, the police say, right, do you want to fight him? And they say, yes. And then you say, right, do you want to fight him? And he says, yes. The police record it and they go for it. Just let them do it. This would stop violence overnight, guys, because most of this violence and most of this build-up is because people know that there's laws, and people that respect the laws won't challenge the laws. And people that respect the laws won't challenge the laws. And people who don't respect the laws will always challenge the people who do respect the laws because they can hide behind them. So this is what we used, when I was in the army, this is what happened in the army. If you didn't like somebody, you wanted to fight with him, go for it. Go in the driving room, and punch it out. And it happened lots of times. There was an incident, I'm not sure if I should say, yeah, well, I won't mention any names. There was an incident in. Do I tell you the whole story? No, I can't tell you the whole story. It's quite funny, but there was an incident in Iraq when two people were fighting, and they were punching it out in the in the middle of the platoon floor, and we had a brief. So the officer came in, he gave everyone a brief. Yeah, these two guys with black eyes. It was fine, everything was fine, And then the brief was over, and then they said, "Right, are you two guys sorted?" And they both said, No, we're not done yet. They started again. These guys were fighting for a good half an hour. They were black and blue. But you know what? They didn't pull a knife out on each other. After the incident, it was done. And that was it. It was forgotten about. There's no animosity after that. A good punch-up, solves a lot of problems. But we can't do that because, we've got wokeness, we've got wokery. But how much money, how much time, how much effort is being spent on, policing these things that should be left to police themselves? So that's my solution, guys. If we want to stop knife crime, let young men fight. So then you'll get you'll get these incidents of these tough, so-called tough guys who think they're tough guys, and they walk around with their knives, and somebody will say to them, "Well, do you want to go?" And they'll say, "No, I only fight with my knife." And then they'll get, people will ridicule them, and they will lose all their street credibility. Whereas if you can say, "Well, come on, let's go," and then they say, "Oh, no, I don't want to fight anymore," straight away, you will stop people being violent towards each other because people don't have any. There's no consequences for these actions. And of course, I'm not saying that anybody who can start a fight with anybody. If the other person doesn't want to fight, that's totally fine. They can walk away. Exactly the same in the military. If somebody wanted to fight with you and you didn't want to fight with them, you walk away and that's it. And you get a bit of stick, but that was it. You wouldn't go off to them. But anyway, guys, that is my solution. Now, I've just seen that the tomorrow's newspapers have come out, so I'm just going to go through them quickly and see what we can surmise from this crazy dystopian world that we live in. Here we are. Tuesday's national papers, frontline. So let's see. The Times. Police have given up on punishing shoplifters. That's all right. I think I mentioned this a while ago. I think the police won't come out and investigate now if somebody steals less than. And again, I would have to find this. I can't be bothered to go and search for it now. But I think it's if you steal less than £200 worth of goods, the police won't come out. This brings me back to what I saw the other day when I was at the supermarket late at night. People were just in there blatantly stealing. And I was like, well, why should I bother paying for stuff if everybody else is stealing for things? And you're going to get this, and it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Massive drop in official enforcement figures. So yeah, looks like police are not bothered about shoplifting anymore. This is going to put more shops bankrupt, which is going to put more people on the unemployment list, which is going to push more people into shoplifting, which is going to put more shops out of business, which is going to push even more people on to the unemployment list. This don't look good. Military training cutback to fund pay rises. 40 million shortfall forces MOD to axe some exercises and make troops pretend to shoot. Oh, please no. Right, it's a little bit small. Vital training for military units being axed to pay for salary hikes for troops. Ministers have told defence chiefs to save 400 million for the pay rises. So, I think I mentioned this as well. I said, I think yesterday I said it's really easy to cut money from the military because you just say to one of the generals, right, general, I want you to cut this much money. And he'll do it. That's what the military do. Equally, you can say to one of these generals, right, go and take me that country. And he'll do it. That's what the military does. But the problem is we really do have lions led by donkeys at the moment. Now, I don't know what this is relating to. The move will force soldiers to pretend they are firing weapons rather than using live ammunition, a senior military figure told the Mail. troops will literally be shouting bang, bang. Oh, that can't be right. That's ridiculous. You know, I mean, one of the things that when wars kick off and when, when these large scale incidents happen, one thing that you can't throw money at it is training. Training. And I've trained soldiers all over the world, guys. I really have, not just soldiers, a lot of special potential claimed special forces, because a lot of, special forces in other countries, they're not that special. And, one thing that they always ask me, they always say, what's the secret? What's the secret weapon system? What's the secret, supplement you take? What's the secret? And I just say to them, guys, it's really simple. It's training, muscle memory, reflex. Train with the kit you've got. Make sure you know it, understand it, and you can use it. There's no point training with kit you haven't got, like we're potentially doing here, because that doesn't help you. So I really hope this is, I really hope this is taken out of context. I really hope we do. Or I hope this 400 million, I hope this relates to some I hope this relates to some missile on a submarine that's worth 100 million each, and which is a fair, thing. I hope this doesn't, relate to infantry being not given ammunition, because, at the end of the day, the Navy can take ground, the Air Force can take ground. The only force that can hold ground is the Army. Violent criminals allowed to just say sorry. Sex offenders among thousands with no record after police community resolutions. Again, look at the dystopia here, guys. I can't read that. The writing's too small. I can only assume that, people with no previous record, if they're sorry, they just get let off. This brings in, I'm wondering now, okay, so what if the Facebook criminals here, guys, the Facebook criminals, what if they are allowed to say sorry? Or is it only violent criminals who are allowed to say sorry? Can you see the dystopian reality that we are actually living in? Violent criminals get free. Facebook, jail. Absolutely insane. What else have we got? Safety fears at British care giant owned by Kuwait despite 500 million in taxpayer cash. So, let me read. Significant fall in safety standards at one of UK's largest care providers since being bought by Kuwait state fund, receiving almost 500 million in public funds, investigation reveals. So this is what you get, guys. You get when we say this is capitalism, and people use these as examples of the private sector and how the private sector fails. Well, the private sector will always fail if there's no competition. And we can bring this back to the water system, the water companies in the United Kingdom. We've sold a lot of these off to China. We've sold a lot of them off to, 15% of our water companies. We don't actually know who owns them, which is wild. But, when there's no incentive for people to reinvest because they're getting the same amount anyway, they won't reinvest. So what you need to do is you need to make sure, put checks and bounds in place that these people have competition, that these, basically their clients, they have competition. Because if people can vote and choose, then the system will get better, because these guys will lose their money, they'll go out of business and they won't get any money. And these people who are paying, wherever the money's coming from, they will then go to somebody else that's giving a better system, a better service, or a better product. And that's how capitalism works. When you have what the Labour government are trying to do, and I don't know if this is, I'm more than likely that this is not the Labour government, but when you're trying to sell off government assets and sell off national assets like the rail, like the water, you have to have a sufficient amount of competition. Otherwise, you just get socialism, and you get a perfect example of what happened with socialism. Revealed staggering rise in, and everybody's doing Sven-Goran Eriksson, who died recently. Guys, I'm not really into football. It's not really for me. I know a lot of people like watching men get really excited about kicking a ball around. It's just not for me, guys. I prefer men in their pants grappling. But revealed staggering rise in anxiety among children. Every NHS referrals to double pre-pandemic levels among under 18s. There's a lot to be anxious about, if you're a kid. You're seeing all this crime on the TV, you're seeing wars, you're seeing all this fear, and you're seeing a lot of social media as well. And social media does have a lot to pay with this because you play for this. I've got my family member, he's 14, and he's looking at these Instagram pictures of these guys with chiseled abs. And I'm like, dude, that's not a real, that's not real. That isn't what real people look like. His fitness, it will be crap. And I'm trying to explain to him how he's got that big with his, what shall we say, extracurriculum supplements. I'm trying to explain that, he will only look that good for those photos for like a day or so, and then he will go, he'll totally crash. It's not healthy. I try to teach people, concentrate on your cardio, high intensity workouts, strength conditioning, real world fitness, but the reality is girls look at these pictures, then girls degrade men for not looking like that, which leads men to try and look like guys. It's just the cesspit of social media, and the pressures it puts onto young kids, and of course this works both ways. You've got girls who are looking at these pictures online, perfect pictures of girls. They're slim, they're beautiful, they've got beautiful hair. 9 times out of 10 it's a wig. The bodies will probably be touched up by AI or Photoshop or whatever. And girls are looking at these, and equally boys are looking at these, and then you get the same thing. So we've just got this, we've got this constant, we've not got a constant pursuit of perfection. We've got a constant pursuit of something that's not real. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, this is coming, and the knock-on effects that this is going to have when these kids grow up and they're older, it's going to be huge. Don't be sorry, smile. It's been fantastic. So that's okay. So that's Sven-Goran Eriksson's last words. Starmer, work starts to reverse decline. So he's throwing double negatives in there, which must be a positive. Yeah, guys, the thing with Keir Starmer, he changes his mind. I've said this when he first got elected, and then the day after I said, right, I'm going to stop being critical of the government. He is a chameleon. He will say whatever he thinks he needs to say right then. And when you do that, you don't trust somebody because they're a waffler. And you don't trust wafflers because they change their mind every 2 minutes. You don't know where you stand with them. So yeah, he's going to work to now start the reverse in decline. I don't even know what that means, guys. So it's probably some Orwellian doublespeak. Don't be smart, right? So the Metro are commenting the same as he's commented. Top defence contractors poised for 52 billion cash bonanza as orders soar. Oh, didn't see that one coming. So here you've got the MOD, right? From the article before, the MOD having to scrape, this is dollars. So you've got the MOD having to cut back on training for the troops. And here you've got defense contractors making 52 billion cash bonanza as orders soar. Guys, I don't need to tell you how dystopian this is. Look, just one of those billions would pay for the pay rise. It would. It'd just pay for the pay rise and you'd get this training. But, the problem is, who was it? It was one of the US presidents. He said, if you make war profitable, you will not see an end to war. And that's the reality. If we all went into space and started asteroid mining, took the gold, took the resources, we would progress humanity so far, so quick. But we don't. We fight over little patches of Earth because we like that patch of Earth, and then they want our patch of Earth, and then we go. It's just wild, guys. It's wild. But look, at least somebody's making money. Macron hits back at Russian claim that Telegram boss's detention was political. Now, I don't know if this is political, guys, but you know, for those of you who don't know, the guy who owns Telegram, what's his name? It's too small for me to see. I can't remember his name, but he's basically being arrested, and I don't know what the charges are. It's probably something vile, but what I feel is happening is people are closing down on these platforms that are letting people communicate freely. Now, I've not got a Telegram platform. I have got a Telegram account. I haven't got it now. I only use it when somebody needs to send me a big file because it supports sending bigger files. But as I understand it, you can, you know, there's channels on there. You can subscribe to people. I don't know if they get paid. But what I feel we could be seeing is this crackdown on free speech and this crackdown on people who are letting people communicate freely. You know, now I don't know how this is going to go with X, because if everyone gets closed down, then X would be the only, you know, place that lets people communicate freely. But then who owns X? You know, and it's kind of murky, because if you control people's perception of reality, you can make them do what they want. And like I always say on this channel, the truth doesn't matter. It's what, you know, like I said earlier on in our video about, you know, when I mentioned Poland, I said, right, guys, you know, Poland are saying that Russian drones have landed or intruded into their airspace. I said, the truth doesn't matter. I don't know the truth. I've not been there. I've not seen this. I've not got any radar images. The perception of that truth matters. So if Poland tell everyone that it's happened, then it's happened. It doesn't really matter if it has or it hasn't. Oh my, guys, that's it. Our last chance to stop psycho killer robots. End of the world warning by those cheery AI boffins. Killer robots will soon choose their own human targets and will start wiping us out unless the world unites to put the shackles on artificial intelligence, say tech boffins. Guys, you know, we've all seen, you know, the prophetic works of James Cameron in his Terminator movie. You know, I don't think the killer robots are going to look like that. They're probably going to be in our computers, in our phones. You know, we're probably going to see drones, maybe some stuff like that. I think it's a reality. You know, there is a chance of this happening, as crazy as it seems. I think there was my friend was telling me. So this is from my friend. So I wouldn't know if it's you know, I should probably do a search on it, but. You guys, if you're here or if you've made it this far through the video, then you're probably gonna do your own research on this. So, my friend was telling me that there was let me get this right. There was a system in the United Kingdom, in the US, where they were testing AI on drones, and it was a simulation. But let me get it. Yeah, so the drone had to take out as many of these targets as possible in a short amount of time, and you know, and it had to calculate the way, you know, which way to move, what weapon systems to use, and that sort of stuff. Now, there was an operator, because health and safety, there's an operator, and what the drone kept finding, the AI that was operating the drone kept finding, is when the drone was going in too steep or something, and the attack angle was too steep, the drone pilot was looking and thinking, he's going to crash, and he was correcting him. So the AI thought, right, okay, that pilot is stopping me getting my maximum score. So the drone, you know, the AI on the drone decided to take out the pilot. So the drone came and started to, you know, attack the pilot, thereby eliminating the pilot, which would stop the autopilot, the manual controls kicking in, which would then let the AI do its clean run and get the best time possible. So, you know, we could have a situation like that. There's also a thought experiment called the paperclip maximizer, whereby you tell an artificial intelligence that its sole purpose is to create as many paperclips as possible. Now, that AI thinks that creating paperclips is the be-all and end-all of its existence. So then the AI then goes and conquers the world, destroys humanity, turns the planet into paperclips. It then turns Mars into paperclips. It then goes on an intergalactic mission to turn the whole galaxy into paperclips, because the AI thinks that, creating paperclips is the beginning and the end of all existence. So yeah, AI, psycho killer robots could be with us as end of the world cheery boffins tell us. Farage warns of shocks to come in Labour budget. Yeah, I mean, I think he is right, isn't he? We all know this. It's a pretty solid. I can't read that. The writing's too small. But I think what Keir Starmer's doing now is he's pre-warning people. He's giving people bad news and trying to be honest with people. But the problem is, you can't start out lying and then change your mind and start being honest, because people just don't believe what you're saying. You've got no credibility. So yeah, I mean, hard times are coming. What did he say? He said things are going to get worse before they get better. Now, this is like I said earlier, guys, in my other video when I talked about food shortages coming, when I talked about the water crisis, the civil unrest, all this is coming. And I keep saying this same thing. We could have a situation in winter when people are paying the taxes. They're doing everything they can. They've got no money for their family. They've got no money for themselves. They've got no money for heating because the price of electricity energy's gone up so high. What are those people going to do? Because next video, I'm going to bring down the Communist Manifesto and read a few lines from it. People will be desperate. And when people are desperate, they do desperate things. That is not a controversial statement. That is the reality. And that is it. Let me just refresh this, guys, and see if any more have come up. Where's refresh? There we are. No, that's it. So police have given up. That's it, guys. Looks like that's the end of it. So, guys, that is my Notting Hill outline. How to fix Notting Hill. That's how I fix it. If I was in charge, that's how I would deal with it. Go for it, guys. Have a good old knees up. This crime epidemic we've got in the United Kingdom. Let people fight. Make it so instead of people offering to fight each other, then somebody pulls a machete out, just say, right, do you want to fight him? Yes. Do you want to fight him? Yes. Go on then. Or do you want to fight him? Yes. Do you want to fight him? No. Right, you go that way. He doesn't want to fight you. You go that way. Simple. Done. It's over. We don't need to worry about it anymore. But we won't do that because maybe somebody will try and fight a politician, and then what's Keir Starmer say? He's going to smash the gangs. Anyway, guys, yeah. So we are finished, and that is my comments on tomorrow's news. Guys, don't forget to if you've come this far, give me a like, give me a share on your socials, and don't forget to like our other pages. Guys, I'll give you some videos tomorrow. I'm going to Mag to Grid. It's a bit late.